gift, but I hate her. Fate will turn us all into sinners. Let my voice make it better. Chase all worries away. Just when we're all alone, as long as you're with me, I'll chase them ghosts away. That's a gift, but I hate her. Fate will turn us all into sinners. Let my voice make it better. Chase all worries away. I'ma be pausing you up in your tracks. Can't even see me when I come attack. You know you liking the way that I back it up. It's every day that I'm stacking up. Why don't you try to come closer? I'm on the beat that composer. All of you haters got nothing on me. You be testing my limits. You'll see. Pausing you up in your track. Can't even see me when I come attack. Back it up. Yup. Why don't you try to come closer? I'ma be pausing you up in your can't even see me when I come attack. Back it up. Why do you try to come closer? I'm on the beat that composer. That's my limits, can't even see me when I come attack. Back it up. Why do you try to come closer? I'm on the beat that composer. That's my limits, I'ma be pausing you up in the past. Can't even see me when I come attack. You know you liking the way that I back it up. It's every day that I'm stacking up. Why don't you try to come closer? I'm on the beat that composer. All of you haters got nothing on me. You be testing my limits. You'll see. Pausing you up in the track. Can't even see me when I come attack. Back it up. Why don't you try to come closer? I'ma be pausing you up. Can't even see me when I come attack. Back it up. Why do you try to come closer? I'm on the beat that composer. That's my limits, can't even see me when I come attack. Back it up. Why do you try to come closer? I'm on the beat that composer. That's my limits,
I got all the things I dreamt about, but none of it erases all the doubt in me. And money doesn't seem to change a thing, when all I ever seem to do is sit and think. They say, how could you be depressed? You don't know how much you're blessed. I guess they don't see the monster with its hands on my neck. It's funny, I know they're right when they all say I'm a mess. Wearing all my success like failure's what I do best. I thought I'd be happier by now. Happier by now. Happier. Got all I wanted, but it's still not enough. I thought I'd be happier by now.
Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Review. I am Dylan Carlson alongside my good friend Josh Hoffman, and we have a special guest in tonight. You might know him as the model swap god, the godfather of making cool shit for MX bikes, you know, anything you could really dream of. DASHPACK. How's it going, guys?
What up? What up?
What
How we
up?
doing?
We're doing good, man. I'm Dash. It's super cool to have you on the show. I know this was super last minute. Inviting you on is kind of, you know, something that you don't normally do. But hey, I would consider you a friend of mine and a content creator. So I felt like it was kind of necessary to get you in on an episode. Sit back.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the invite. Of course,
Yeah.
I love being on stuff like this because I feel like it's something completely out of my league and something that's just fun to get under the belt. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, and you know, it's like you make stuff for this game, you know, it's kind of in the same vein of, you know, like the whole purpose of the show, and you've been iterative in your skill set along the way, and also you have an you enjoy watching videos and stuff like that. So we're just going to kick back, have a couple of beers, and well, that kind of brings me to my next point. So this is our first ever rewind episode, and what these rewind episodes are is we take a look at a single content creator's content from their beginnings to where they are now, and we watch their progression. We allow them to talk about what they were doing while all of this content was made and how they progressed and where those what those steps were or how those steps were taken along the way. So to kind of introduce, another back-to-back week of a different format of this show, we're going to be taking a look at my content from the beginning and just kind of reacting to that and seeing how that looks. Josh, I know you're super intrigued to see what my first content was, and I honestly, I don't know, Dash, I don't know if you've ever taken a gander at some of my older work, but it's oh man, it's not good. It's really not good.
That's fair.
I'm excited for the cringe. Yeah, I'm stoked. Yes. I've never seen Anaheim 1, like, just as a qualifier. This is gonna be a fresh view. Right. So yeah, I'm just gonna treat this as like a submission. So I'm really excited to see where you initially started and where you felt comfortable posting, and kind of where you got your beginnings.
Yeah. So, before we get into this, Anaheim 1 was the very first piece of content that I ever put together for MX Bikes. Like the first time I ever opened up like Premiere Pro or did anything along the lines of like actually recording content for this game. And, I thought I was good enough, but yeah, we've made some strides. I will say that. We've made some pretty big strides in the last 2 years. So, for me, I'm just looking at this from a standpoint of like, wow, this it's different. It's really different. But hey, without further ado, let's get into this show. All right, let's make sure that we got everything good to go here. And all right, so without further ado, my very first edit. Oh nice. Yeah, I went under a different moniker.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Pax, for informing me that there was no sound being streamed that entire time. Oh, no. We're turning autoplay off. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bro. All right. I'm just going to turn this off. We're super prepped for this show. We thought we were going to be more prepped than we were last week, but alas, we are not. We're still the same shitty fucking show the entire time.
That's all right.
Shit. Okay. Josh, take it away.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna kind of dive into this like it's been submitted. So first thing I noticed right off the rip is you like your negative space. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You timed it with the music, which is like a huge thing with me. I love the level of commitment there. Obviously his camera work's a little shaky. And what I noticed, and this is your fault with your newer stuff, there's no flow around the track.
Right.
You have different sections of the track, which probably, a lot of people don't even notice, but this is 100% Dylan's fault, right? He's bouncing around all the tracks because there's different clips around the track. There's no actual flow of like an actual lap.
Right.
Yeah, there's cool angles. I see what you're doing, right? I still think
yeah, bro. I know, dude.
I see your dolly shot kind of obsession really kind of starting to shine through here. This is really, really interesting, actually. This was before we met, right?
Yeah. This is prior to the GRD days.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a timeline of, the kind of skill here. So yeah, negative space. You're matching it to the music. There was one thing I was gonna touch on. I just forgot. I'll pass it off to you. See if I can't remember. Dash.
All right. So, I mean, like you said, matching the actual video with the blackout with this music was pretty fucking spot on. I like that a lot, and I like that a lot with current creators. The only thing right off the rip that I have to nitpick is the Poboso tires.
Oh yeah.
Coming from the model creator perspective, that is like my one thing that I hate seeing in like people's screenshots and stuff like that is the Poboso tires.
Yeah. To give some perspective on that, like I got a Thor PSD from mods and then a Star Yamaha. Remember, like I have been adamant about people like taking a Star PSD and then like reposting it and doing all of that shit. But like that was me 2 years. Why is it okay? I was still like very new to bikes at this point, like and like graphic design and all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
And so for me,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so like I was very much like not invested in the same level of just like in general modding that I was at this point. And I was like, man, I'd really like to get into some video editing. I haven't really done anything like that. And so I threw this together and like looking back on it now, dude, holy crap.
Yeah. But I have two things. You have cool angles and like we talked about the music, but the pacing, it like all slow-mo isn't good, right?
Right.
And we've talked about that before. Sure, the shots are cool, but it kind of drug a little bit. And then no bike sounds. It's a dirt bike edit.
No, fuck off. I had dirt bike sounds in this.
There's no there wasn't. No, there wasn't.
Bro, I promise you, there's fucking dirt bike sounds in this.
It was very
prove me wrong, and then I'll take that.
I think there was like 2 or 3 clips that there was.
All right.
Okay. Yep. Take it back.
Yeah, pound sand. Day one, I had dirt bike sounds. Oh man, there's gonna be a lot of yelling. The poor viewers. Pax is sitting in here in chat like, Jesus Christ, they're just gonna yell at each other all night long. But yes, no, there's dirt bike sounds in this. From day one, I had dirt bike sounds, albeit not a sound mod because I didn't know what that was. But
yeah, very, very fair.
But here's
reshade on at all?
No, 0 reshade. This is
Depth of field. You're just in replay, right?
Yeah, this is a standard Poboso replay.
Okay.
The only thing that I touched was some color grading in post, and I was so when I first started doing this, right? Like I had no idea about reshade. Like I didn't know that it was a thing. I started seeing content creators like Pax and Murray and Holtzy, and I was like, how the fuck do they get that like blurriness in the back? Because I didn't know what depth of field was at that point in time.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So for I think this is giving me a lot of perspective as somebody that reviews content on a weekly basis. For a lot of our newer editors, because looking back at this now, because I haven't seen this, I think, oh man, it's been a long time since I've seen this edit. And, you know, I might be a little harsh on a lot of these newer guys. For what it's worth, like, we try to be, you know, critical and constructive in the same breath on this show, but dude, I have dragged a lot of new editors down for stuff that, you know, I really don't have business doing that, because everybody starts somewhere, right? Like if we as we progress through this show, like we'll see. But yeah, Josh, I think you hit it right on the head. All slow-mo. This was 1 minute and 53 seconds of almost strictly slow-mo, and the pacing was really off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I looked at this now, and even though like I timed the negative space with the song, I think it was overdone. Like it was really overdone.
It was a lot
I
of
was gonna
space.
say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those things where I looked at it and I was like, wow, like this is what I thought. I thought I was like cool as hell putting this out. And you know what? That's the thing, right? Like a lot of these new editors that like they put it out and they're like, man, that was so cool. And
sweet. Yeah. Well, that's the point of doing stuff like this, right? Yeah.
right. And like 2 years of progression, like when we watch the last edit that, you know, I put out, or whatever the last edit that we have on the show, like it's gonna be wildly different to see the progression. One thing that I did like, first of all, OG rocking Spy goggles, still with a standard monster lid, because like shout out to Spy, they're a great company. I don't have a discount code, but like I love their goggles. One thing that I did like about this that I haven't utilized a lot anymore, and I've seen it in dirt bike edits before, so it's the same shot, and this shot in particular, we can see it, like the camera works dog shit, but this is timed to the song. So I think it's like with a bass hit.
Okay. Yeah.
Like but it's like a quick zoom in, but you do that with scaling in Premiere Pro. Like that was one thing that I actually liked about this. But yeah, other than that, like the camera work definitely has improved significantly over the course of 2 years.
Oh, hands down, yeah.
But there was even little things that I noticed. Anything that you guys wanted to touch on as well?
I think I picked out what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not really anything too specific, just overall the camera works kind of a little lackluster. The editing was, you know, I think it was pretty good. Nothing that I would be able to do because I hate Premiere Pro. So
I love it. I love it, man. I love Premiere. It's like arguably
I'm
the best.
very much DaVinci Resolve, like Sony Vegas, like those are my cup of tea. I cannot get along with Premiere Pro at all.
Okay. Yeah. I think just final thoughts and closing on this one. Like again, this is the very first piece of content that I ever put out. And realistically, like for a first piece, there was a lot of stuff that, you know, now knowing what I know, there's stuff that I could definitely clean up specifically around like, I mean, Josh, you and I harp on this every week. It's reshade, depth of field. And I think reshade is on, but I just don't have a depth of field setting. And it really, like, you can see like how much this just destroys the
It makes it
image.
so busy, dude.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
It's really busy. So when we say things like this to new editors and we talk about, reshade and depth of field, like this is exactly what we're talking about. And we're not trying to be just like drag people through the mud when we talk about this. Like this is what it looks like when you don't have depth of field on and you just have a reshade setting or something along those lines. Like it's really difficult to make that quality come out. And when it comes to camera work or anything like that, one thing that I noticed I do want to touch on is like we've got like the negative space and stuff. But like the way that this edit starts is like there's riding and then there's B-roll and like it just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, there's not like a flow or like an intro. Well, I mean, I guess you had a little bit of an intro kind of coming into the stadium, but
yeah, bike life type shit.
Yeah, the wheelie with the roost on the concrete. Yeah, I love that. Sweet.
Yeah.
But again, like that's stuff that matters to your viewer, right? And Josh, you know what you're looking for now at this point in time. So you're not the average viewer of this, but Dash, I would go ahead and say like you would be kind of in that classification of like an average viewer, right? Like you're not going to be looking for stuff at under a microscope like Josh and I would be, correct?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. So
100% agree with that.
But when you see something like this, you look at it and you're like, whoa, yeah, there's a lot going on. A lot of this doesn't make sense. The camera work's kind of like iffy at best. So
yeah,
for you newer editors out there, like this is really something where you can take a look at my content and understand like, okay, everybody starts somewhere, right? And the only way you could do this and like improve and get better is, well, I mean, shamelessly watch our show and we'll tell you what you can do better.
Yeah, because we know everything.
We know everything. We're the best that's ever done it. No, but like in all seriousness, like this is where I started and I had to learn along the way, watching other people's content and asking questions. So now there's, the chance and the opportunity to have your content reviewed here, and we can give you those answers and the keys to get better faster. So subscribe to my Substack or my Patreon. I don't fucking whatever. Give me money. Is all I'm saying. Pay me money to do content reviews.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, that's a great idea.
Should I like all of my own videos? Is that like weird?
Oh, dude, no, it's weird. Yeah, but why not?
Yeah, we'll just thumbs up.
Keep improving, buddy. We'll submit next week.
Yeah, submit next week. Christ alive! All right, okay. So before we get started with this one, this was a huge shout out to all of the Valor guys. I know that Documoto
3?
Yes, dude. Documoto 25 or 24 didn't happen this year. People have real life stuff going on and it's a shame. Like I get it. I was really excited for it because I loved the contest. I thought it was really cool. It was a super dope idea and man, we've had just about every single panel member on this show to review content. And I get it. People got busy, man, and this just falls to the wayside. I would love to see it come back. I think it's still a super dope event. But anyways, some backstory on this was Tubbs, one of the guys that we all play games with, sent me the promo flyer for this. And I was like, dude, I'm not good enough at editing to submit to a contest, like at all. And and Josh, well, you were kind of a part of the process. Like obviously, like I had sent in the version history to our chat and had people like go through it and review it and whatnot. And everybody's like, dude, you have to send this in, make it a little bit more exciting, blah, blah, blah. So I got on board with Documoto, ended up finishing in the top 5 with some pretty legendary people that have been on this podcast. I think everybody in the top 5 except for Seawalk and Damo have been on this show. Because we had Shady and we had Pax. So yeah, we had 2 people. Okay. Well, it sounded a lot cooler in my head when I was thinking about it. But we were planning to have Damo on, but he's in South Africa, so it's like really hard with time zones, and we'd have to like pre-record, and we just never got it lined up. But yeah. All right. So let's watch Save Myself.
Yeah, dude, what a throwback.
Yes.
Right.
Actually, that was actually pretty sweet, honestly. I've never seen that one myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a first timer on that one, that was pretty fucking good, honestly. Personal thoughts, I think where the bass hits, where it's the screen flash or the vibration on the video,
the shake,
it was a little over the top at some points.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, honestly, it's pretty good. The camera shots were really good. But that's all I have right now.
Yeah. I think this is a good showcase of you're really putting your nose to the grindstone on this one. So I think you were really getting kind of the storytelling aspect kind of laid down in your head. You had the B-roll and then into the writing. Like the edit itself made sense. You weren't like all over the place. And right here, this is a good shot I wanted to talk about. This is the first time I've seen you play with like an overlay into the environment, which I think actually got you props on the contest. I thought this was super cool of how you blended it into, the skybox.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the kit was I think the kit was custom, or am I misremembering that? Did you make this for the bike for Documoto, or was that no, you just released this is what it was.
Yeah.
And you used it for okay. But yeah, highlighting that, it just like just that shot in general, like you had a more of an eye of what you were trying to do with your edits, right?
Right. Yeah. This to me was a big leap forward in doing the B-roll and the bike shots, albeit I'm a victim of my own hubris when it came to, and I mean, I gave a bunch of people shit in the first season for doing stationary bike shots on the stand. I have one. And then it for me, this was a lot of like rider kit. And I chalk it up to being still like a pretty new editor. This was, it says a year ago, but like this was in October of 23. So for me, like, you know, this was kind of where I really made the step into, hey, like I'm actually like kind of okay at this and I want to get better. Dash, I think you hit it on the head when you said that the camera shakes. That's something that a lot of new editors fall victim to, is they'll find like a preset pack, right, for these effects, and they'll download them and then they'll use them in every single shot. And I fell victim to it because I was like, man, that's a really cool effect.
It looks cool. Yep.
Right, yeah.
And it's overdone. The only shot that I thought it wasn't overdone in was right here. I think this shot coming up was probably like one of the better shots to have that camera shake. But in and of itself, across the entirety of this edit, it was definitely overdone. This was kind of like the turning point for me. I thought there was a lot of visual effects that were really distracting. The only time that it wasn't super distracting, and I know, Junk, you loved this portion of the edit where it's like the ending and it's just like crazy short clips, lots of visual effects.
Right here. Love this. It's a good short form closer, I think, now that we're kind of getting, you know, really popular with the short form stuff. I think that was really well done.
Right. To me, I look at that as like, if you had to fill some time and you had a bunch of clips where you're like, whatever, you can smash those all into like 7-8 seconds and just throw as many transition effects as you can onto them, and you'll achieve this effect of like, wow, like it's overwhelming to the viewer, but in a good way.
I mean, it's sure, like, there's still some execution to it, but I just personally like that effect, and I think the shots actually in sequence as you put them, because it's not like the same whip or same direction of whip. You know, there was a mixed bag of what was getting thrown at us. I like the variety, I guess, is what it is.
Right. Obviously, a big thing to note here, depth of field is on.
Depth of field. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, like depth of field is definitely on.
Yeah.
Some of the shots are a little difficult to see.
I could be having connection issues too. It's a little blurry on my end, so
yeah, there's some
that might be a stream issue.
No, I think I was still recording this through GeForce and not OBS, because there was a time period.
Okay.
Do you remember when I switched from filming? Because this was filmed in 30 frames per second. So
I think
that's why there's a quality issue.
Still, yeah.
So this, from a quality aspect, was not there yet. Like the filming, everything like that, Dash, you talked about that early on. Like the camera work was getting better. In my opinion, there was, like, what I know now, this was not that great. I think some of the shots were not framed right, specifically around, Pac saying he uses GeForce. Ooh, sorry. I mean, I'm not going to drag it. I mean, if it works for you, obviously it works for you. But like for me, I didn't like GeForce just from like a hardware standpoint, I liked being able to use OBS in tandem. That's what I use now. But
Yeah.
I also don't have like super great hardware, so I can't record in 4K, or I can, but it's just gonna be like really difficult. But yeah, this was all recorded in 30 frames, so that's why we're seeing a lot of quality issues. We're seeing some blurriness. I hadn't figured out my quality settings yet for this, and that's probably partially the reason why I wasn't in that top 3. But yeah, like the camera work for my personal taste now, I would say like it's good. It's good enough, but it's not great.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is, I mean, since we're comparing, it's definitely a huge step up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you're playing with different angles and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which was really cool with this. My favorite shot too was, which I think also got called out, was
The
the rear
wheel?
wheel spinning. Yep,
Yes,
yep,
dude.
that was
That
such a cool moment.
yes, this okay, so I've seen this in a ton of car edits where they film the rear wheel spinning from a static position. So I remember this got called out because somebody was like, "Whoa, stop." So this clip was filmed using free cam, not free roam, and I had locked on to it. Excuse me, but I had to zoom the footage in and rotate the actual footage in time. So I think yeah, like you see the wheel spin in time, but then the whole image also rotates as well. So
Yep, yep.
but
Mhm.
that was like just playing around with new editing techniques and stuff like that. So like there's cool stuff that you can do in your videos as far as B-roll is concerned. And this was kind of like my first attempt at exploring that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I really like that shot. And my last closing thought that I was gonna bring up was, I think the negative space was much better in this. It was definitely not, overpowered. It definitely fit and made sense.
Hmm.
Um, I think there was only like a couple spots where you actually used it,
Right.
which
Yes.
was enough. It worked.
Yeah. Not over. Okay. I'll just kind of piggyback off of you, Josh. Less is more, right? And Dash as well. Like the camera shake effect that you were talking about. That was used in almost every single portion of this edit. And
Yeah.
it was overwhelming, even to like a normal viewer, right? So doing too much of one thing will definitely get noticed. And having, less is more, right? So if there was a couple of those camera shakes, been like, wow, that was a really neat effect, and then you move on from it. Don't pigeonhole yourself as an editor or as a filmer or anything along those lines with thinking like, oh, this effect is really cool, I should use it everywhere, because what you will do eventually is just use it too much, and then people like us will view it and be like, wow, like it was really cool the first 3 times I saw it, and then I saw it every shot after that, so it became predictable.
Yep.
And looking back on this submission now, like 100%, like I don't like this. Like if I reviewed this on this show today, I would say it's like, yeah, it's pretty good, but like, like I don't even know. Well, I probably wouldn't even put this in the top 5 for Documoto, in my opinion. Um,
Sure.
I like I don't think it's there. I thought this missed the mark on a lot of things. I thought the framing and a lot of the camera work was kind of shoddy. Um, albeit smooth in most places, I think the camera work could really use some fine tuning. But yeah, any closing thoughts from you, Dash?
No, I think we've kind of hit it on the head of the nail here.
Pax is saying, I like the clips with the lens flare overlay. Oh, okay. So I will touch on this because this is
Yes.
a huge thing that everybody misses. I'm trying to find the actual clip because it's pretty far into this. Here. Okay.
It's right there. Yep.
Yeah. So lens flares. When you utilize a lens flare, especially if you're a Premiere Pro user, or I don't know if DaVinci has it where you can generate one in post-production, make sure you map it correctly. I see people that use lens flares wrong all the time. So the easiest way to do that is to find where that sun would be, where the actual like sun is located on map, and you can see it. There's like a really bright portion, and you have to find that physical space in the clip, rewind your clip, and like keyframe all of this stuff in to make it look good. So I didn't do it correctly in this portion, but in this shot specifically, it's done well. So you can't really tell where I am on track, but you get that kind of like whitewash effect. But at the end, you see it again, but that's not where the flare is. Like this flare, this was just put in because it's like, oh, it'd be cool to have a lens flare. No, this is not where this flare exists. You need to
because that flare, it would be like at our eyeballs, right?
Correct. So the lens flare itself would not exist because the sun is actually behind where the camera is. So it just straight up and down doesn't exist in this shot.
Yeah.
So this was just put in as an effect. It still traces like some actual camera movement, and we can get into that further down the show when we take a look at blur on how I actually refine that process. But this is what bad lens flares look like. While it still does like all of the motion tracking and all of that, this is a bad lens flare. It doesn't look good. It's not real. It's not going to give the same effect. So if you're looking for hyper realism, which I assume most editors are in this day and age, this is not how to do lens flares. Doing lens flares like this is how you do lens flares. Okay.
Well, in just that little shot, just a real quick touch on that. You really have to think about using your effects and stuff. You can't just throw shit up and hope it looks cool, right? Like there has to be some sort of purpose behind what you're doing. So,
100%. All right, moving on to the next one. This one was really fun. This was the first, cinematic style edit that I ever did. So with lots of like not stock footage, but like I took footage from other places on the internet, and like this was the second release of the label gear. But I think, I don't know, the second release or season 2 of the label gear was all like military appreciation. So it was all the combat shirts and like custom norms and shit like that. So like this is, February of 2024 when I, just launched the label, was getting into gear creation, doing all that stuff. And I really liked this edit. I thought it was super cool. But looking back on it now, I'm like, man, the camera work. There's stuff that I would tidy up, but I thought this was really cool. But yeah, all right, here we go.
So hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I
Yeah, dude. Um, I remember when this came out, and I was really shocked because it was kind of such of a change of pace of what I was kind of used to, like the banger
Yeah.
music and stuff and just like cool writing.
Mhm.
I remember I was really impressed with like how much emotion you put into like a piece of content. And it's MX bikes as a whole, but you did a really good job of kind of showing what you were trying to talk about in this. No, I really like this one just as a whole encompassing project.
I
Yeah.
would definitely have to agree. The emotion was very high in this one.
Yeah, and that was kind of the
Which
point, right?
which I think you don't like, especially, me and Dylan both, being in the military. I feel like us military members don't get to show that emotion a lot. So I feel like this is a great form of work to have that be shown, but not in a literal sense of the person showing emotion.
Mhm.
But the video definitely portrays like what is, what this is portraying for the sacrifice for all of our brethren and sisters in arms.
Yeah, and that was kind of the whole point, right? It was like this is a promo video for the obviously like my virtual gear brand that was all like military appreciation. And
Hmm.
one thing that I really set out to do is like have that nuance, right? And we've seen time and time again, we've seen, bikes edits that are just like super hype. But for me, I wanted to create a piece that was like almost like gives you goosebumps in a sense. So it's a
Yeah.
really slow song that's super emotional with big cinematic impact. And then this starts with like the Ranger Creed, and you see the nods, like under nods, like all the shooting and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, like what the fuck? And then it like the song and like the build up and everything encompassed with this is just it's not that typical hype video. It's like you guys said, it's super super emotional, and it really changes like the dynamic of like how you as an editor can deliver a piece that makes you feel something, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
that's what I was really trying to deliver, because we've got 20 some seconds of like footage under nods of guys at a range doing a live fire exercise, and like the sound behind that, and then it's you get the helicopter live feed from the radio traffic, and it kind of opens up into this. And I thought that the aerial test track did a good job of not only having kind of this weird austere environment that is very similar to a lot of the Middle East, and it just kind of made sense and it fit. And then now you get the gear, and I loved this portion, albeit like it's still fucking dirt bikes, but like you get this, the patch and everything. You're like, oh shit. Like I don't care who you are. If you live in America, even if you don't live in America, you know what this is. Like you've seen this before, right? Like global war on
Yeah.
terror, all that stuff. Like you recognize this camo pattern, you know what this looks like. And the whole purpose behind this was for just kind of like a creative outlet to say like, hey, again, like you said, Dash, like this is showing support for all the people that did, a job that not everybody can't do, but a lot of people wouldn't do. So that was the whole purpose behind this. And for me, this
Yeah.
was a real step in a direction of like, how can I create an emotional piece?
Well, no, yeah, I think you did fantastic. You did this project really combined both of your creative outlets into showcasing what you wanted to tell. Like, yeah, there wasn't a crazy amount of writing, but that wasn't the purpose of this.
Right.
And we could
Exactly.
like probably
Exactly.
pick apart, camera work, whatever. But I mean, that really wasn't what you were going for.
No.
And I really did like this piece, straight up and down. It was a great project.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is like telling a story through an edit and using emotion is can actually, distract people from shoddy camera work. Because there's some parts in here that I could look at and be like, "Oh God, what was that?" But you're not paying attention to that because the emotion behind the piece is carrying through all of the rest of that. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
I do challenge editors to go out and create a piece that does tug at those heartstrings, does create that emotion, makes a feeling for people because it's really difficult, right? Like this is a fucking dirt bike video game. Like
Yeah.
period. That's what it is. But you can create something like this through video editing and it makes it way like we will ignore everything that's beyond it if you can create an emotional piece. And it takes a lot. It's really difficult to do it. And I thought this was a really cool project to put together. I really should do another one, but I don't know. I kind of like leaving this where it is because this was another turning point as far as just my skill set as an editor and really dabbling in that cinematic style of editing and creating something with emotion.
Yeah. I do have a question for you on this. Because this obviously was kind of a promo for, this gear set. Was this did this idea like the kind of slow emotional aspect, did you go into making this edit with that, or were you gonna make another kind of banger commercial for this gear set? Like how did this piece kind of come to fruition, I guess is what I'm asking.
So this stemmed from a YouTube channel that I watch called Forward Observation Group. They do a lot of like tactical edits, right? So it's them clearing houses and doing shit that's like fucking super badass. And they put it to music like this, and it's slow-mo, and you see the flashbangs, and it's all like wild stuff. And for me, I was like, man, I wonder if I could do the same thing and pay homage to that style of editing.
Okay, yeah.
Through a dirt bike edit. So this was never going to be like a banger. Like I went in with the sole intent to create a project that was like just straight up and down, like fucking I want to do a cinematic piece with a lot of slow-mo and create that emotion because it's fucking cool.
Gotcha. Okay.
Honestly, I feel like you should do another one, just in my personal opinion. Completely separate from the video. I have been working on some like military models just for something like this. If anyone were ever to make another set of that military like gear sets or anything like that, it is in the works. So it would be really, really sweet to have something like that again. Because that gear set was like evolutionary. Like when it was released, I was like, oh my God, this is like the first set that is ever like this. Like this is the one and only. And you really pulled it out of the bag. And this was a very, very good gear set.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, when this got released, like I was still like kind of active in the Facebook group. I have since deleted Facebook because it's just nonsense. I don't need to argue with fucking boomers about politics all the time, but
yeah.
But even then, like this got such just like a universal like positive reaction from it. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and have a big enough ego to say like a bunch of people lopped onto it. But when I posted this on mods and on the Facebook group, I said like any prior service guys, like DM me, I'll get you a free customized gear set. And that was like patches, whatever the fuck you wanted, because that was like my way.
Hell yeah.
Not only like promoting the gear set, but also saying like, yo, dude, what's up? I'm not going to thank you for your service because that's fucking stupid as shit. And if you fucking ask people to do that, you're a fucking loser.
Shit.
But like, go do that at fucking Chili's for your 15% off. But like, dude, like if you want a free fucking gear set, yeah, I'll take the time to fucking export your unit patch and throw it on there for you. It doesn't make a shit bit of difference for me. We're making cool shit, and like you signed up to do something that a lot of people wouldn't. So like that for me, like this gear set was really fun. I need to update it. I think I have updated it, but yeah, I'll definitely take another pass at it, and we can do some cool collaboration project on that, Dash.
Oh yeah, that would be very, very sick.
I'm excited for that.
Hell yeah. Any closing thoughts on this one?
I don't think I can bring myself to even critique it. No, I mean, no, this is just a good job, you know, dude. That was really, really appreciate the work that went into this.
Yeah, this one was a really good one that I actually watched quite a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably over 6 months ago, when I think we first were introduced with Veggie.
Yeah.
And man, when I watched this one, I was like, this is top notch. This is what the like pinnacle of creation of edits like this is.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah, man. I appreciate the kind words. All right. So now we get into kind of like what I would say the tipping point is. Like this is when I really started to kind of get into my like my style, like really figure out my style of shooting. This one was 10 months ago, so just under a year. This is when we all, well, let me see. Was this when? Oh yeah, this is 100% when the big split happened, Junk. There's a lot of drama around this time last year.
I'll have to take a peek at the time. I don't remember when this one came out, to be 100% honest. So
10 months ago. So this is like right after I left the old team.
Yeah, that was a crazy time.
What a time to be alive. All right, here we go. Oof. This is when I started like naming everything kind of like music video style. But yeah, here we go.
Banger track too, by the way.
Oh yeah, this is definitely when we.
Yep.
Funny.
That was cool.
Yeah, that uphill step up shot was pretty sweet.
Yeah. So this one was all right. I'll let you guys open up with your thoughts, and you guys can go back and forth. I need to grab another drink, and I will be right back.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll let you go first, Dash.
So I think definitely the shots were really on point. You can definitely see the progression with the camera shots there. I'm not sure if he like actually went through and studied like camera work or something like that, but it definitely looks like on point from the last one, or not the last one, but the one before the last one to this one is just, it's so much better.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say, the camera works a lot better. He's framed his shots and the writer a lot better. It flows a lot better too. I think he was really, yeah, like you said, no, he's in the middle of finding his stride of the type of video or type of edit that he was wanting to create. Um, I do notice that this is in the era where he was really he does a really good job with his so-called designs, kind of like intro, flash, and then we're getting into the meat of it. Like it like the edit just flows.
Yeah.
Um and I will say I don't know if I'm just being hypercritical now, but I think the lens flares that he's been using are good, but I don't know if it's this one specific or if I'm just being an asshole tonight. I think it was a little overdone in this
Yeah.
specific video.
Where at, Josh?
I don't know. Like I said, I could be pulling that out of my ass. If you just want to play it on silent in the background, I might change my mind. Um, but yeah, just like this, they look good. Maybe I'm just misremembering. But this right here, with the song, and then we're getting into the writing. The B-roll was cool.
Mhm.
We didn't stay on B-roll too long. We're you're a big proponent of that, Dylan.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe I'm just, yeah, that's a non-issue, I guess. I guess I thought there was more
Yeah, I think you're just kind
lens
of being
flares.
an asshole
I
because
think maybe, yeah, I just want to drag you through the dirt. We've been complimenting you too much.
Hey, that's fair.
No, yeah, you definitely notice the lens flares a lot in this one.
Are you
I
talking
mean, you
about?
can just,
Are you talking about
Maybe it's
these?
yeah,
Oh,
was that
okay.
was
yeah.
actually talking about the little dirt overlay bullshit?
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's an overlay in reshade. So in the ambient
Oh,
light
okay.
plugin, you can add a dirt texture to your image, and that's all that's adding. So if like it's not necessarily it's kind of a lens flare, but it's not. It's like dirt, water speckling. It's to add like
Yeah.
a like a dirty lens. And I have since went away from that because I thought it did muddy up the image a little bit. I think it can be used, especially if you're doing any sort of like handy cam work, because we all know,
Yeah.
like they get dirty. Like anybody that's filming moto content in real life, like your camera's always fucking dirty, dude. You can't keep that lens clean. But with my style of shooting being more cinematic, I've went away from utilizing it. But I think like it's a cool texture for sure. I overutilized it for a long time. I didn't change my reshade for probably 7 months. So you'll
Damn.
Yeah.
you'll see a lot of that stuff. But yeah, I continue on. I'm just hopping back in. I had to grab another Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe like in retrospect, there's too much shit in my eyes in this edit. So
Yeah.
Was this a lot of slow-mo too? No, it wasn't. Did you do a lot of speed ramping?
So, okay, I did want to talk about that because it's been in a lot of my edits prior. So, I was doing manual speed ramping because I didn't know that I knew I could do that in Premiere, but I didn't like the way that it looked because I was still filming at a low frame rate. I hadn't switched over to OBS at this point.
Okay.
Or maybe I did. I can't remember. No, I was still filming in GeForce. So I was still filming in 30 frames a second, and it looked really bad when I manipulated the speed of a clip. So you'll hear it here. I'll turn the sound on so you can actually, we'll go back just a little bit. So like the bike is coming in at full speed and I am manually clicking the reduce the reduce button on my numpad to get that speed ramping. I think it looks more natural. Like it's a wild speed ramp, but it's fucking hard. And I'll tell you this, doing it in Premiere or doing it in post-production, way easier. Just film this shit in slow-mo. And then if you want to add that sound, just film the clip.
Just do a sound bite.
Yeah, just overlay the sound. And that's how you would do it. But yeah, so that's what that was. Okay. Yeah. Any other thoughts that you guys had while I was away?
You know what? Not that I go ahead, play it for a little bit. I don't think I had anything.
Goman says song choices are gas. Yeah, man. I really think that's something that I do. Jesus Christ, if I could pat myself on the back any harder, I'd get a broken arm, dislocate my fucking shoulders. Like, good job, Dylan. And that's not the purpose of this episode is to like really like start to refine, like see the progression, refine it even more, and look at it, right? But song choice has always been something that I have found to be really cool about the stuff that I've put out, right? Like I film a lot of stuff and I put it to electronic music, but like obscure electronic music, like stuff that I find in the depths of SoundCloud. Like I'm talking artists that are following other artists that are following other artists. And it's like, we're 3 layers deep. Is like, here's one track. So, this guy that produced this song is called Vex, and dude, he makes some off the wall fucking music, but it's great for editing. 1, it doesn't get fucking copyright striked, and 2, nobody's ever fucking heard of it. So like you look at it from a standpoint of like, oh, okay, cool. Could I go grab a Travis Scott song? Yeah, sure. And if that's the music you like, that's the music you like. But for me, as an editor, I want to find the deep cuts and I want to find stuff that nobody's ever heard before. So even if people wanted to steal the fucking song, they fucking can't. So that's where I'm coming from.
I think you brought up a good topic because I'm just such a deep music lover myself, and I really appreciate it. And that's just such a huge part of edits, in my opinion. Like that you can't not have a good edit without a good song. Right. And what I mean by that is you can't. We've said this hundreds of times. I guess, yeah, sure, you can have writing clips and just put a song on it. That's not enjoyable to me, you know. Like if there's thought and like if there's a reason why you pick this song, and then matching everything up to it, it brings it all together, and that's worth watching to me. It worth watching over and over again.
Yeah, Dash did say he was gonna send an undisclosed package to my house if I didn't do an edit to a Sleep Token song. But I just
yep. I did say that.
I just don't think people would enjoy a 9-minute edit. Also, like, that's a lot of film, man. That's like 8 hours worth of work.
It is a lot of film, yeah. It is a lot of film.
But for me, like, I really think, Josh, you nailed it on the head. Like, song choice is everything. And not everybody has the same taste in music, but finding the deep cuts and finding music that is not necessarily popular, I think really makes yourself stand out as an editor. Because I mean, fuck, dude, like we've all heard. I can tell you, I've seen the same song in this 5 different edits in the last season that we did. And it's not a knock on any of those editors. They're fine. It's just like, for me, I really like to find some really cool and unique music because it it helps myself stand out because it's a cool fucking song. So go, I humor editors to go and find interesting music, not just the top popular songs. Like, go and explore SoundCloud, dude. There's some fucking wild shit out there, and you might actually find an artist that you fucking like. And even if you don't want to do it on SoundCloud, go on Spotify and look at an artist that is like up and coming, or don't. No, don't go follow my music. First of all, I'm gonna fucking kill that project here in the next 6 months. But like, go find an artist that you like, and then go find artists that are similar, and then find artists that are similar to them, and like dig down deeper and see if you can find some new music, because it's cool, it's obscure, it's creative, right? And that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. And just closing a thought on that. It kind of like, if you're using popular songs, you're almost kind of working against yourself, because it's, unfortunately, nature of the beast, you know, it's a common song. It's not like new and exciting anymore. Yeah, sure,
Right.
it's cool and popular. Maybe I have a different outlook, but if I've heard it 1,000 times, I'm not going to be as hyped over it as, you know,
Yeah.
something new and exciting.
Well, and I understand from a commission work standpoint, like, it's difficult, right? Because this guy wants this song. Or I fucking, he's paying me to do it.
Sure.
Okay,
Right.
whatever. But like, in your own work, man, go find some cool music. That's all I'm saying. Dash, any final thoughts?
I gotta say, I mean, the music choice is good. We pretty much already touched that, but the music choice is good. The dirt on the lens, already touched it, but kind of a icky, sticky no-no, in my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the track goes well with the song. It's pretty rapid. It's pretty kind of upbeat, you know, a lot of motion. So I like it. It's good. It definitely is not your best work.
Sure.
But it's pretty close up there.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'd have to say, like, this is obviously not my best work. But at this point in time, like, I was making pretty big strides even from the last one that we watched.
Yeah, for sure.
Just in like camera work and like refining that process. But
yeah, and that's what I was saying when you had left earlier, was it wasn't as bad as the one that we had before the last one. So I was saying that the camera work from the one before the last one had improved like existentially. So definitely big props on that one.
Yeah. Josh, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think this was a good one to pick. It really showed the structure of the type of edit you were trying to get into, and that you were like flowing. Like you were banging these out, right? So you had what you wanted. You had B-roll, you had your so-called designs, and then we're into writing, you know, and you got to flow. I think this was a really good example of that.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of those things, right? And like, Dash, you highlighted it. Like, this is not my best work. This was something that was, you know, short form, and short form content is very difficult to do, but also it's easy to do in the sense that you're rifling out one, maybe, well, probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4 edits a week in short form, because it takes you 3-4 hours to do it. And coming up, we'll take a look at some short form stuff that was done in like an hour, or maybe I can't remember. I'll take a look at the description. I think I said how long the time was. But when it comes to that stuff, like, you as an editor reduce quality when you produce a lot of quantity, until you get to a high enough level where you have a workflow and you know, like, all right, in 4 hours, I'm going to have a good enough product to ship and people aren't going to bitch about it. So, but yeah, I would have to agree. This is not my best work. It does look cobbled together. I went away from the dirt texture because I didn't like it after a while. I think it can be utilized, but again, less is more.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so this project was on the heels of our first guest episode of the weekly review with Seabigs. And when Seabigs tells you that you do the same camera shot every single fucking time, you change your
You knock that shit off.
yeah, you completely shut that whole program down and you completely change it. But yeah, shout out to C, man. Like he really inspired this. Not only that, but like the No Namers project that he put out, like putting something together that told a story and was a little bit longer, but also like made sense. This project was fuck, dude. Like this took a month to produce, and man, was it a lot of fun to make, and rightfully so. Like you can see it in the just in the views alone. Like this one skyrocketed because it was super interesting, and I know it's been played on this show before. I think Sword also, we kind of held a gun to his head, and I made him give me some feedback on it. But yeah. All right. So without further ado, this is Blur.
Man, fuck this trash, dude. I need to go somewhere cool, somewhere remote. You know, like that Greenland shit.
I love that shot.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, I need to start fucking bringing a notepad to these things.
Yeah. So I all right. I'll let you guys open up.
Yeah, Dash, you go ahead.
Dude, this storytelling at the beginning.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That was definitely a pretty good opener, just starting off with the story itself. Where you're going from, oh shit, you're fucking at the local track and now you're just popping up at some random island.
Mm-hmm.
Even the plane shot. The plane shot is so sick to add in there. And then obviously the title with the opacity over the waves.
Dude.
Awesome. That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
And then I mean the camera work in this is phenomenal. You're really like starting to see where you're building that consistent camera work,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what like the different angles, the motion of the camera, that's where you're starting to see where that's you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I do want to touch on, so we talked about this earlier in the show, and I talked about lens flares, right? So the one thing Sword had to say about this edit when he was on the show, when he reviewed it, was like, this is a different lens flare than this one here. This shot,
yeah,
like, god damn, dude, I like it. In all of my content, I still go back to this shot and I think about, like, fuck, dude, this was so sweet. And you know what this reminded me of? And I mean, I probably like, maybe some of our older viewers have women in their life, but some of these fucking young kids I know, they're the sweaty kids, the kids that are winning, the kids that are winning ARL, like, fucking no, they don't view this shit anyways, but like, they don't know. But this reminds me of fucking Love Island, and I know every single person that's ever had a fucking girlfriend has been held hostage on their own fucking couch that they paid good goddamn money for, and they had to watch that shit. But this was taken directly from that, because I guarantee you, if you go and turn on fucking any random episode, go find it, fucking season 3, episode 12, you will find this shot right here. Rocks, ocean, lens flare. Call it. Fuck it. I guarantee you'll see it.
Pull it up right now.
Pull it up right now. You will see this shot. But it's a dope shot. It's a dope shot. So, I really enjoyed this, but what really sold it for me, this is when I started playing around with masking. So you can see, obviously, this is not MX bikes. Ain't nobody.
No, not at all.
But this is. So this is the map, and I had to sit here and trace the mask of, like, the actual shoreline of the track, and then overlay this footage, and then with the opacity on the title screen that gets blurred in as the waves crash in, it kind of blurs, and then as the waves come out, and also the camera has motion because it's a drone shot and it's pulling away, so you have to continuously update that mask frame by frame, and then you feather it, and then you do all this other shit, and it's like a huge pain in the ass, but it does look really fucking sweet. So,
yes.
Anyways, continue on, Dash. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, that the masking of the waves, like you were saying, I know that's a lot of work, because I've sat there and watched Green Lennox fucking make the promo videos for the OEMs. And if you guys remember the promo video, I think it was for 18.2, where he was on Qatar, and it was the nighttime track. And he's doing, like, the fireworks in the sky and shit like that. That is all masking, by the way. So that was, like, watching him do that over, like, 3-4 hours was, like, insane. I was like, this guy is an absolute master at this, and he's doing it so fast. But it's because it's such a tedious thing, and he's such a master at it. So that, like, showcases a lot of, like, attention to detail, because if you don't get it right, it will look bad.
Oh, 100%. Like, it's very difficult to get it right.
And it's really only like that, it's really only that 5 to 10 second clip in there, but damn, is that attention to detail so important.
Oh yeah, dude, doing that masking took me like an hour just to get that right.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend too much time on it, but if you watch this clip again, watch the palm trees. So when you get a bunch of heat on stuff, you will have a mirage effect, and you can actually pick that up with a camera. So we're on a fucking tropical island. Just watch those palm trees. And they're like
Yeah.
just a little bit. Nobody's gonna fucking notice that ever, but I will. If I see that, I'd be like, "Oh, cool! It's this neat little effect."
Hell yeah.
And going back to your original point of like these effects, right? When we watched the Save Me video, these effects are, a little overdone. But this piece had a bunch of effects in it that were done subtly and in moderation.
Yeah.
And it really helps tie the piece together.
Yeah, the normal person is definitely not noticing that.
Mm-mm.
Because I didn't even notice it.
No, you're not going to notice that. But I wanted to add it because for times like this, when I'd be like, "Hey, look at the fucking palm trees, dickhead," you'd be like, "Oh shit,
oh, that's sick!" Oh
man. Josh, any opening thoughts for you?
Yeah. Again, I think this was this piece right here is a testament on how good constructive criticism can really elevate your game, and getting a lot of people's perspectives. It can really just change and make things a lot better. The use of the what is it, stock footage? Would you call that?
Yep.
With the waves and stuff. And the plane telling the story. You had a story in mind in this, and you told this fantastically. What really stood out to me was obviously you weren't doing your big cinematic shots, and that shot right there, specifically, you're focused on one point and you're letting the rider kind of do its thing. You know what I mean? That was a different angle. But the two biggest things that stuck out were the actual drone shots and drone noises, and also the audio manipulation. The big slow-mo audio whooshes was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first piece that you started doing this in.
Correct. Here, so this is what he's talking about. You can hear the drone propeller sounds like brrr, just kind of that weird. And again, that's just like something I grabbed off of YouTube. It's just a drone buzzing noise, but it adds a huge layer of depth to edits when it comes to drones. But yeah, what he's talking about is the shot coming up. So like that first, like that big sound effect, that impact, this like boom, and then the song cuts out, and then you hear the bike just just fucking pinned on the yeah, just screaming, you know what I mean? But like that's what you're talking about, right, Josh?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And you're able to do this because you had a good foundation of how to make a good edit. So now you can branch out and start experiencing, these cool little tricks and just different shit that make the piece even more interesting, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one was like really fun to put together, and to see it, get as many views as it did, I was like, holy shit.
I had a question on that too, and no shade at all, but how did this blow up so much? Do you know?
Fuck if I know, dude. Honestly,
okay. I didn't know if it got passed around. I seriously, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I didn't really promote. I'm super bad about it, dude. Like I don't promote my stuff at all. Like I send.
Yeah, I should have prefaced that because I guess it sounded like a dick. But yeah, you don't ever promote shit. You just drop it and then there we go, right?
Right, and that's like why pieces get, some get 82 views in a month and others get 3,000 in a month. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes the algorithm picks it up. I think this one got picked up just based on like people saw this and they liked it and they commented and they said like, wow, like what the fuck? And it was a really interesting piece. It wasn't just a boilerplate bikes edit. And that's kind of what I was going for, right? With this one, I took my time. I didn't just pound out an edit, because we've all seen that. And for me, I don't really do this for views. It was really cool to see this one blow up. I would have loved to see year one blow up, but that was 35 minutes long, and I know that people probably aren't just gonna sit down and watch that.
That's not an insta banger, right?
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's like 35 minutes is a lot to commit to watching a big project.
Yeah.
But that one for me was just like, I'm showing my appreciation to all the people that have supported the brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was really thought out. I thought the camera work was pretty good in this one. This one solidified. Well, I know like this shot in particular was really kind of the defining moment of like, all right, if I'm gonna do drone work, I'm gonna do cool drone work, and I've kind of made this a staple in a lot of my filming to do this overhead drone shot. Yeah, man, like this one was just like a really cool piece to put together. And for me, there was a lot of refinement that could have went into this piece just from a standpoint of like actual reshade. So the camera work, albeit better than I had been at that point, because I thought I was pretty good at making edits at that point, and I realistically wasn't. So I branched out. I got some constructive criticism from C, and he's like, hey, go do this. Go try this. Get some more variety. Started playing around with sound design, and honestly, like, it turned out really good. For all intents and purposes, I thought this was a really awesome piece to put together. I spent a lot of time on it, and yeah, I think it was pretty overall like a pretty solid point as far as progression goes. Like if I had to look back at Anaheim 1 to here, if you just played those two side by side and said these are the same guy within a year and a half of each other, I would probably tell you you're fucking wrong. But just kind of
leaps and bounds differences for sure.
Yeah, just a testament to like progression and like keep doing what you're doing and take feedback 100%, because this project would have never happened without C telling me that I was dog shit at fucking variety of shots.
Yeah, right.
Like it just would have never happened. So, you know, that's kind of like this piece right here is a testament to this show works, and we can all get feedback and we can all improve and we can all do this like so much better by submitting it to people that aren't. I know, like Josh, you watch my shit all the time now because I just solicit content reviews from you, and it's like, yeah, good job, buddy. Yeah. Thumbs up. But
yeah,
find people that are going to be critical, or tell them to be critical of your stuff, because it's only going to make you better. Dash, any closing thoughts on this?
No, I think you guys have pretty much touched all the very like noticeable points, and I think I've kind of given my highest praises on this one. So
sure.
I think I don't think I have anything else. If it comes up like in conversation later on,
okay,
I'll definitely bring it up.
Josh, you got anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight, just the extra layer of creativity was at the very beginning, your voiceover, and it's just little things. It's the little things, that make pieces like kind of stand out and like have these moments of like, that was really fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
So
also
want to highlight that.
Shout out to Erax. This track is about 20 minutes from my house and is actually in Minnesota. It's the BP73 Moto Ranch. I don't like going there because every time I go there, I almost die. But it's a cool track. The Lore family, like they're great. So shout out to Erax for actually putting in a game. He did a great job. All right, so this one, start to finish in 2 hours. A minute,
2 hours.
Minute 57. You can go watch the live stream where I did this. It's on my YouTube channel. If you want to see exactly how I made this edit in 2 hours. This is so this is workflow. This is 100% refine your workflow. All right, here we go.
Is anyone there? Wait.
That was a sick shot. That was a sick shot.
Let the waves of time and space surround me. Yeah, 'cause I need room to breathe. Let me float back to the place you found me. Found me, found me, found me, found me.
All right.
Hell yeah.
2 hours. A literal speed run.
That was a first view for me. So I'm gonna just
Yeah, same here.
attack this as a submission. Yeah. Real good pacing. The shots were good. Obviously you got your reshade and depth of field figured out. And like you kind of alluded to, this is just workflow, right? You had your foundation and you're gonna go make something, right? This really was a great utilization of what we were talking about, the drones, love the birds and the stuff, the forest sounds, the drone sounds, the audio whooshing, and I actually liked your B-roll at the end where the bike was all dirty and you're hanging it up for the day. Like the pacing and the storytelling was phenomenal. I don't know if there's I'm sure I could be critical on a couple watch throughs, but just first impression, never seen this before. This was a great edit.
Yeah.
I
Dash,
would definitely have to agree. There was some very, very sick shots in here. Where the beat is kind of like, well, and you're like kind of snapping between the different shots.
Oh,
that part was
cuts.
so
Yeah.
sick.
I was gonna highlight the jump cuts. Thank you.
Yes, this follow cam as well, like where you'd kind of be simulating where you're on the back of like a side by side or something like that. Very, very sick. But yeah, the jump cuts, very sick. And I think it's really shortly after this where you're this one following down the straightaway and then the drone shoots up over the trees. Oh man, such a sick shot.
Dude, yeah. Shout out to Stoney.
So sweet.
Like the environment on this SYS Supercross track is so fucking good to film on. It's this track and the goat farm, dude. They're like staples for me when it comes to filming. Like if I don't have a track where I'm like, oh, I really want to film like on this one, dude, it's so hard for me to not go to this because the environment is so good to film on. Like if you have enough fucking motion blur, like this looks so good. Like, you can really do a lot with high quality track creators in this game. And you know, don't get me wrong, the aerial tracks, like, they're great to film on. I've done it. Everybody's done it. But these, like, kind of one-off test track stuff, dude, it looks so much better in my opinion. Like, it's super cool. But continue on. I'm sorry.
No, I think, like, the camera work is really, really good in this one. Like, this is probably the best so far.
Mm-hmm.
I know it gets a lot better in the next couple that we have up because I've already watched them. But this is like, not to spoil it, but this is the greatest so far. Even in the edit speed run, like, disregard that, because that, I don't think that has anything to do, like, playing in the equation,
Mm-hmm.
because this is absolutely absurd of an edit.
Yeah. And this is a testament.
Just overall, honestly.
Yeah. And, like, again, I appreciate the kind words, but, like, this is a testament to, as an editor, this was made 8 months ago. So I was a year and some change into content creation, and you start to find your workflow. And like, I sat down, I was like pretty new to streaming at that point. I was like, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna speed run and edit. And I started a timer and I went about it. And I was like, all right, we're gonna do this as fast as possible. And if you go back and you watch the whole live stream on how I did this, you can see where I'm like, I don't really like that clip. And, like, I'm trying to get clean laps, and that's the majority of it, right? Is like you trying to get clean laps with clean gear and a clean bike, and I just let all of that shit go, and I'm like, fuck it. We're gonna do this as quick as possible. Clean enough lap, do some cool shit, do some whips, do whatever, and then piece it together. Dude, it's amazing. Like, once you get good enough, so our high level creators, right? The guys that have been doing this for a minute, like, this is the level of content that you can achieve in about 2 hours. And I know there's probably guys better than me that could do this style of an edit in less time. And if I didn't have to do like actual riding and do the replay and all that stuff, if somebody sent me a replay, I'm pretty sure I could do an edit of this quality in about an hour. However,
Yeah.
that's not to say that you shouldn't take your time, right? Like, this was a practice, kind of like a practical exercise for myself to see, like, how fast can I do something of reasonable quality. And yeah, it's about 2 hours. But yeah, so, like, again, I appreciate the kind words. There's stuff that I would fix about this. I think there's some more flair that I could add to it, but as far as edits go, like, yeah, I would have to agree. Like, this isn't terrible. I know, like, we've kind of been sitting here just, like, you know, stroking my ego for the last 2 hours, but, you know, it's tough. Like, I didn't want to bring some unsuspecting guest onto this show and just drag their content the entire time. So, you know, this again is a progression stream, right? We're talking about, like, it just takes times, man. Like, you gotta make shit before you can make daisies. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Josh, any final thoughts from you?
Dash was saying is, yeah, the camera work, you know, it's very smooth, very deliberate, very interesting angles that you were going with. And yeah, I have to agree. You could probably have added a little bit more flair to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, if we're just looking at edits, you know, that are out there, this is a great one. You know, it hit all the marks that we would have graded a good edit on, and yeah, you know, stamp it and ship it.
100%. If this would have came across the show as a submission, I would have given this person a like and a subscribe. And I'm not saying that from a standpoint of like, it's my work, but if any random person were to submit this to the show, or if I came across it, 100%, I would have liked this and I would have subscribed to their channel to see more content.
Yeah. Not set the world on fire, but you had really cool tricks, and yeah, it was just good.
Yeah, overall, it was a good edit. All right, so this one, Josh, if you want to give the history behind this one, because this does feature you, but I'm doing the riding.
Yeah. So I don't remember exactly what was going on, but I remember I commissioned a kit for the Honda, and you made an LE gear to go along with it, and you got that, cooked up and sent out, and I put it on and I was doing my thing, and I was like, oh man, I'll go right around and I'll kind of make a commercial. I'll get a replay, and Dylan can do what he does with it, right? And make a cool edit. So I do my thing, I get my replay saved, I send it over to him, and it literally uploads this on YouTube. So like completely stole my idea. We had not talked about this at all. And yeah, this is what happened. And I think it's just hilarious, the timing of what happened.
Oh, actually, can I preface this? Okay, so we'll see it here.
Yeah.
We'll see it here. Where is it? Murray Films, Low Key Fire. All right, look at the timestamp. We'll go back on this because he fucking swiped my song and my track and my the color scheme.
A bone to pick here.
No, like it is what it is. Like I had not talked to Murray at this point at all. He came on the show afterwards. But it was like, it was wild to see. Like the very next thing that he put out was this kind of in the same vein.
All I wanna do is go out trapping with the shoes. Wrist game froze, you should see the way we do it. Sexy little bitch, you throwing titties out the window. You from out of town, but you know what we get into. All I wanna do is go out trapping with the shooters. Wrist on froze, you should see how I maneuver. Shorty say she down and up and flex with all the shooters. Shorty, all you gotta get ahead of all my shooters. I came in, I just pulled it off the lot. Sailing like a pirate, I came in with a yacht. I came up off a dropping out the spot. Tell me if you fucking, cause it's backups if you're not. I'm just flexing, too hard. Threesome, session, 2 bras. Every time I step out, shit lit. I just walked in, Heisman, you bitch. Boy, them trying to catch me with the shooters. Snow I'm down to catch one if you shoot us. No more putting shooters in the Uber. They can't hop back in it when they. All I wanna do is go out trapping with the shoes. Wrist game froze, you should see the way we do it. Sexy little bitch, you throwing titties out the window. You from out of town, but you know what we get into. With shooters, wrist on froze.
I love that shot.
Yep, that's a good one.
Flex with all the shooters. Shorty, all you gotta get ahead of all my shooters. I came in, I just pulled up with the slab. She don't know her father, but her mama call me dad. Go designer shopping, copy, fucking up the tab. Rich for my just thick as fuck, I had to brag. Harleys, diamonds, homie. Don't it get you horny? It's late, but I can't leave. It's lit, rolling, top down, my shit legit.
Yeah, dude. No, incredible. And I am not saying that because that isn't my piece, but I do have a question. This one seems a lot crisper. Is this kind of when you changed to OBS, or did you switch before that? Or I don't remember. some
Yeah.
editing on the back end was changing here, right?
Yeah, so yeah, this is when I had switched primarily over to OBS, and I was filming at a higher frame rate, and this is right before I got RSMB. So I was still using, like, you can see it here. I'm using Reshade's native motion blur plugin. And you can kind of see it here, and it doesn't look super good. RSMB does a way better job. It's a lot more resource intensive, and it's very expensive. So editors that are out there, you don't need it, but it does look really good. You can achieve the same effect. We're looking at stills here, and it's difficult, but yeah, this is when I had primarily switched over to OBS.
Cool. Yeah, that was my biggest notice in the progression of things is like the quality. Um I really liked just the highlighting of just the edit itself, switching the kits, kind of showing off. It's still one of my favorite, LE drops that you've done. I know this is completely not like edit related, but it's a really cool time when this came out, just the whole how everything came together.
Yeah, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, this kind of sparked like the whole like standardization across like the board as far as kits go for the team at SCD is is very much like, hey, we're gonna, everybody rides a different thing. And one thing that really makes me like, I don't know, dude, it's so tough. Like a lot of graphic designers out there like to just stick to OEM colors, and that's fine. Like I've done it. They look great. But when you have a team of like, 250 riders and 450 riders, and there's clearly a meta, and you've got like KTM and let's say for instance like Yamaha for the 450 side, KTM for the 250 side. You have an orange KTM and then a blue Yamaha, with like the same like OEM colors for each. It really is, I don't know, it just kind of looks weird. So like this really sparked the, hey, we're gonna do white and black kits for every single bike. They're all gonna look kind of the same and kind of standardize it. And with our title sponsor being Blue Chew for so long, I wanted to do like an LE set that was, well, Josh, this was your idea to do kind of like a rock star style of a kit, and that kind of stemmed into what was a majority of last year for the whole team was rockstar oriented kits for everybody.
Oh yeah, the kit is very sick.
Yeah, Dash, I heard you say something while we were watching this, and I think it's coming up in this next shot.
Yeah. Yeah, where it kind of muffles, you hear the engine sound, and then it just pops into this dope ass slow-mo shot. Oh man,
yeah,
that transition is very, very sweet.
Yeah, and it takes, like stuff like this is, I haven't done a lot of audio manipulation up until this point. I did a little bit in Blur and like subsequent edits after that, but I think Josh and I have talked about this a lot on this show, is the amount of effort that it takes to actually sync up your footage to music is very minimal, and a lot of people don't. But when you do, you can add cool flares like this, where it like sucks you out of out of one shot, out of this corner, and you really I mean, it's MX bikes. Like I've never really overlaid sound. It just, to me, not my style because it doesn't sound cohesive. But I know like I'm limiting myself as an editor there. I think the game sounds fine enough. If you find sound mods, whatever. To me, it doesn't really matter. I know there's guys that do it really well. I just don't have the patience to do it. I don't want to hunt for sound clips.
Yeah.
But doing stuff like that, like it just adds emphasis to a shot that in and of itself is, you know, kind of this dolly shot, but like you let that bike rev out, and that's kind of like a staple for dirt bike edits. You know, I mean, Josh knows exactly what I'm about to say. It's a fucking dirt bike edit. Let me hear the dirt bike. Let me hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to hear it. But yeah, this one was a really fun one to put together. This was still like a longer form commercial that was advertising some LE gear. I don't really have.
You took the words right out of my mouth. This is right before you started doing the short form. But you know, this was right in your flow, right? You mean we kind of have the same thought, but you fucking whipped this out before I could even send you a replay. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't really need to spend a whole lot of time on this one. This one was kind of just like, you know, started messing around with sound editing a lot more, and it.
Yeah, like you can tell this one, the sound quality is definitely a lot better than some past ones.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so this next one was like right around the time where I started utilizing, wow, there we go. We'll try that word again. Utilizing RSMB. And if we compare just like the footage quality and the actual quality of the edit to what we've seen prior, dude, it's like night and day difference. I don't know if you guys have seen these ones at all. Have you?
I don't think I've seen this one.
Okay.
I might have. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Yes.
Who, if I got it, running on a feeling, thought I knew I forgot it. Neck against the ceiling, wear a suit if I got it. Tied up for a minute, couldn't prove I was drowned.
Hold up. Shout out to Dash for the custom FMF Honda model. Shameless.
Oh, yeah.
Shameless.
Tied up for a minute, couldn't prove I was drowning.
I sent them a location. I said, I pay for the vacation.
I can't ever show face shit. I sent them a location. Falling when it's silent, silent when I'm falling. Calling on the silent. Ain't no pain, I'm gonna die. Am I wrist in a lot? I'm on spin. All my money, also shit. I don't want, ain't no sense in the dark. In my chest, in a knot. I'm gonna stay where it's sunny. If I can't leave the block.
You make me feel so.
Ah, there it is.
There it is.
Ain't no pain, I'm gonna die. My wrist in a lot. I'm on spin. All my money, also shit. I don't want, ain't no sense in the dark. In my chest, in a knot. I'm gonna stay where it's sunny. If I can't leave the block. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Thanks so much. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Thanks so much. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Thanks so much.
I love that ending shot. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I gotta start off with the panning shots. The panning shots going across the tabletops are very, very sick. And you didn't really do a whole lot of those earlier on. Yeah, those are sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't see that a whole lot, really, ever.
Yeah.
But those are really good.
Mm-hmm. Josh,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
opening shots or opening thoughts.
Well, yeah, you can actually go back to the opening shot. The hyperlapse is a really, really cool technique. I don't know what goes into this, but it's like just visually extremely interesting, and it sets it up. It's almost like akin to being way overhead and kind of showcasing the track, but in a different way, right? It's just a different way of doing it, and I don't see a lot of this being because I'm sure it's a little bit harder than just show the track from
Mm-hmm.
high above, but
Yeah. Right. Little bit of time goes into creating a
yeah,
hyperlapse scenario. Yeah, 100%.
yeah, no, love the hyperlapse quality, huge jump. I'm sure you can technically touch on what goes into that, what went into that. So just visually much more appealing to watch, and again, you have your foundation. We know we're gonna get good shots, cool shots. So the little hits, of your negative space, matching up to the music, they really pop because you're doing interesting things. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is a little bit longer of an edit, but I don't think the pacing was too horrible,
No.
honestly. Maybe dragged a little bit, but that's if I'm like being hypercritical, right? No, this is very enjoyable.
Yeah. I would.
Yeah, I I'd have to agree with the negative space in there. I mean, we've seen a whole lot of it in the first one, but we didn't really see it a whole lot through those other ones that we looked at.
Mhm.
So bringing it back I felt like it was kind of, going back to the roots almost.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So just kind of like touch on this piece. This one again was like my first, like still trying to figure out RSMB and like get my settings dialed in. But this one was also, and I think you guys could tell, like very animation heavy. We've got multiple shots where it's slow mo, and then we see the animation and like adding cool little bits of flair. It's not just like a standard whip, right? Like it's the helmet
Other things are
grab.
going on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
I thought that this whole time that those writer animations came out was a very, very dull time in the game, and then all of a sudden it was like, I think it was Phantoms
mhm,
and Quacks. They both really worked hard on getting these rider animations done,
mhm.
and they knocked it out of the park. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I didn't get to see a whole lot of what Phantoms was working on with these,
Mhm,
but these kind of brought back the spice to these edits, in
mhm.
my opinion,
Right.
because it is a really cool thing that was never done in MX bikes before.
Right. And when I first saw, just kind of rolling back to last week's episode when we had Pax and Pelser on, like those guys worked really hard with Phantoms to get these animations done. And I saw it
Yeah.
in his synergy edit, and I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, where did you get that shit
Yeah,
from?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they got released to the public, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude. And, I will say this, like, it's still bikes, right? Like, you can see in this shot here, like, the handlebar is going through the hand. There's some weirdness to it, but, even adding this alone, like, that's way cooler than if this was just a standard whip, in my opinion.
Yeah. Exactly.
You got the leg sway, you got the fender grab. Like it just adds that little. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit of flair. For me, if I'm going to be like brutally honest with myself, I think the camera work was a little shoddy in this one. It's a little jittery. I think this one was kind of rushed because I was releasing season 12 and I needed to get something out the door. So I think I could have taken a little bit more time. There's like overall, like the camera works fine. There's nothing that I'm like, oh my God, what are we even doing here? But for the most part, I think it's plenty good, but yeah, like there's little things that, you know, you're not going to notice until you watch something 100 times through before you post it. And for the most
Yeah, exactly.
right. So, I think I could have cleaned up the camera work a little bit here. I think for 4 minutes, it's definitely long. So you have to keep that pacing up. I basically smashed 4 1-minute edits into one and tried to get it to work. So, yeah. Well, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. Well, do you guys have any closing thoughts?
No, I said what I needed.
I think there was one shot in there where I was like, that didn't really need to be in there, and I think it was a little bit closer to the switch from the teal and red gear to the white gear. It was over the finish line.
Okay.
And it was like right before the switch. But it was kind of like a bland shot where it was like, that I feel like that didn't really need to be in there per se. Like that one.
Yeah.
That one I was kind of like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think it was one of those things where it didn't really make sense in the edit because we had
because it switched the gear before you hit the transition, and then it was all clips with that gear afterwards. So it kind of didn't really make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. But like, cause then we go into this big, long, like film burn lens.
Yeah, you're setting up for something new right here, but you already kind of jumped ahead.
Yeah.
I see. That's a good eye. I missed that.
Yeah, good one on you, Dash. Yeah, I would have to agree. Like that did not make sense to me at all after I've watched this through again. Yeah, I thought this was really good. Again, like kind of touching back on your point, like these hyperlapses, I had done this maybe once or twice before. Dude, it's such a unique technique and it's so cool. If you can do it right, dude, it looks so sweet. And it's an editing technique. Like you're gonna have to put in the hours to figure this stuff out. I haven't figured it out completely yet. But it's really cool and it adds a level of depth to MX Bikes edits that are not really a whole lot of people doing stuff like this out there.
Yeah, no, that one was pretty cool.
All right.
As well.
Any other final thoughts before we flip to our last one?
No, I'm good.
No, should be good.
All right. So this last one is kind of the culmination of like where I'm at now as far as editing goes. This one has really been like the handful of edits that have gone into the season 15 release commercials have been super fun to make. I really liked this one because it stood out to me even when I was making it as something that was really unique. So here we go.
Hell yeah. That one was like probably my favorite out of the S15 commercials.
Mm-hmm.
The one with Gurn was also really good, but this one was just like, the music was fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
This shit just hit really hard. It's kind of something that you hear a lot with like newer motocross, like IRL motocross edits now, where it's kind of this like really super electric music. So the music pick was really good on this one, in my opinion. Some of the shots, like the wheel tap shot, was really sweet. I wish that we would get more shots like that, where it's kind of just this like weird one-off shot where it's like, oh shit, like that takes a lot of skill to do, let alone catch that as the editor catching that in the replay.
Yeah. No, this one was dope. SZA, first of all, is like fucking really good at this game. He's
Very, very skilled player.
Very, very fucking skilled. So I don't have to worry too much when he sends me replays. There's a handful of people where I'm like, okay, we're just gonna do this again. But yeah, like he's very good at what he does. When it comes to playing this game. And yeah. Got any other opening thoughts, Dash?
The reshade looks really good on this. I know it's not all reshade, and I know it is definitely some color adjusting on After Effects, but damn, is it, the color is just so poppy, and it's very natural to what it would look like IRL. Like if you're just like, it's cloudy right before or right after a rainstorm, like this is what it would look like.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely something that I was trying to achieve. A lot of my reshade has been super blown out and oversaturated for so long. And a lot of that just kind of coincided with how I filmed stuff. It was very like cinematic, so you can get that like lower exposure. Everything is kind of very high contrast, a little bit more saturated. But with this stuff, I was really, and you hit it right on the head with saying like the IRL moto edits, like it's super fast paced and like there's B-roll shots. I think what inspired this one was the Dean Wilson HRC drop where yeah, and dude, I was like, yup, all right, I'll do something similar. So I'm stealing from whoever edited that, but it was like a rock star like collaboration, dude. It was so sick, and I wanted to film something like that in bikes, and I kind of sparked the whole short form wave that I've been on lately. Josh, we'll kick it over to you.
Yeah, I'm still trying to let the short form grow on me. I just feel like blue balled when stuff like this happens,
Right.
And like I said, that's probably by design. It gets you to watch it over and over again.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with what Dash was saying. The atmosphere and the rider kit like this is very nice to look at. Like in any shot, right? You can pick out the rider and the gear, and at no expense to the track and the environment. Like everything just looks good.
Mhm.
The kit pops, everything's well balanced. Just visually, it's great. And is this the first no, this isn't your first short form, but this is in the era that you're in now that you're doing like the quick different transitions. And what you had a term for that. I think it's at the end of this where you do that like negative flash kind of thing.
Oh
Um
yeah. The
yeah, yeah, right here.
yep.
Blah. Yeah, yeah. So, just neat stuff like that, different tricks of the trade that you got going here. Obviously just good writing.
Right.
Y yeah, I don't know, if it's short enough, you can play it in the background. I don't know if I'm, like, can be super critical about it, um, because you short form's different than, like, let's say, quote, unquote, "a normal edit," right? Oh,
Mhm.
that's what I wanna say. This handy cam, like, this looks incredible, and then we'll have, like, another helicopter shot right here. You got a little film shake to it. Super freaking cool. Like, this is, like, dare I say, like, realistic, right?
Mhm.
Somebody's, like, has a camcorder on the side, and somebody's in a helicopter right
Yeah.
now. Super sweet shots there. Um, and then, yeah, that little film grain burn thing, jump cuts, you know, super cool. Speed
Oh,
ramping.
I want to talk about. Sorry to cut you off, but I want to talk about
Yeah.
this shot, these like pairing of shots here, because this,
Uh-huh.
in my opinion, was such like it just meshed so well. It was one of those things where, as an editor or a creator, you're like, that's it, like we're done. It's
I love that
so
shot too.
quick, but like, dude, you get
Yeah.
the and like the new OEMs do such a good job of this. Like you get the realistic, like the bike steps out on him. Oh, dude,
Yep. Yep. That is really sick.
it's just like da da it, and you see the back end just kind of flare out a little bit, and then we see her work through it. Oh, dude, so fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, like it's stuff like that where again, it's the same portion, but we just quickly transition from it, and like it has to make sense. Like you can keep your, especially with short form, like you have to have really high intensity when it comes to pacing. But continue on, Josh, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. Yeah, high intensity pacing. I think it's coming up here. You touched on it. Was it last week? Um, you got it from Lord of the Rings, right? Oh, love this B-roll, by the way. This pulling away, but right here, this shot right here. Very interesting. I've actually never really seen it
Oh
except
yeah.
Lord of the
Pulling
Rings that
away
you.
but zooming in.
Yep. It
Mhm.
makes it
That's
like this
really
weird
hot.
uncanny valley kinda experience. It messes with your brain a little bit, you
Right.
know? There's, like, actual engagement while watching it. It's like, "Oh, that's weird, but cool," you know? So,
Yeah.
I I don't know. It's super hard to be critical when everything's so quick and in your face and, there's no glaring issues, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think this is a really good culmination of where you have, you know, basically brought yourself. I love this opening shot here, this handy cam, like
Hmm.
this 10 seconds of footage right here is so cool. And I want to actually touch on, we haven't been actually, I don't think we brought it up, but your flow with your edits are actually a lap around the track. Like there's that like you have
Yeah.
such an attention to detail, right? It's not just random fucking clips. Like
Hmm.
you can actually see the rider going around the lap and it makes sense. And that's just an even deeper level of, connection of the piece. Like it makes sense. It just makes sense.
I do have one negative review on this though.
I
Okay.
think I know what
The
he's gonna say.
Poboso
Yeah.
tires again.
Yeah, yeah. You saw the orange
Oh,
nipples. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. The orange nipples just fucking ruined it for me.
yeah. what it is
But
worth.
you did kind of
Yeah.
make it up to me with running another one of my model swaps. I'll give it to you there.
Oh, this isn't yours. This is what's his name's?
No, that's definitely mine. That's the one that I put in the big model swap pack.
Oh, is it?
On MXV mods, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
can tell because it's Julian's Cowie with Isaiah's Pro Circuit cap.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it is yours. I wasn't.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah. Another Dash model swap. But
Yes.
yeah, man.
Shameless plug.
For what it's worth, I did not make this kit. SZA put this kit together because he's been enjoying riding the Cowie, and then that stemmed off into you doing an FMF pipe for us, which you'd already done.
Yep.
And then me having to update the textures on your PSD because
dude, I cannot wait to see that thing in edit because I've seen the previews to the kit for that thing, and wow.
Oh, the Garmin
that
kit?
Yes, the Garmin kit looks sick.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't wait to see that one in an edit. Honestly.
Sean's, I mean, it's a really short one. This one was really fun. So like, I don't know who's watching. We'll just do one more, and then I'll free you poor people.
We got an encore here.
Yeah. All right, minute 15 seconds. This one was super fun to put together. First of all, like Knock 2's new fucking EP is so goddamn good, and I love the way that this one came together.
I'm actually really excited to cover this one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this fucking crank.
Yeah. That was pretty hot. What?
I fucking love that, dude.
Dude.
I texted Dylan immediately. I was like, "Are you serious?"
The shot, the fucking helicopter shot with the helicopter blades actually popping into the screen, man. Yes. That must have been such a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah. No, it was not fun to fucking do that. That sucked.
Fucking frame by frame on that shit. That
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah. With the fuck, like I wanted to do something that was like kind of close to like the old Verb Platinum shit with like Dean Wilson and Adams.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
And I was like, man, they had a
That's
fucking
very
they had a fucking helicopter and it was dope. And like, yeah, you could do drone work, but also fucking fuck it. We rented a helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was really fun. The fucking camera kick at the end was just,
dude, that's the one that really was the cherry on top for me. Yeah.
so like this replay, just like I had done all the riding in this one, and at the end of that lap, I was stoked because it took me like 3 hours to get a fucking clean lap because I don't play this game anymore. So I'm just fucking wicked going down the whole shot, and I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, we'll just fucking camera kick that shit third gear pin.
Hell yeah.
I loved that, dude. I loved it. No, you had a lot of fun on this one, and you know, it goes to show, like, I don't know. I'm sure that was like a spur. Well, I guess the the helicopter was kind of planned out, right? But I don't know. The camera kick, like it was just fun shit you don't really see.
Right. It's like it's
So
stuff like that. But yeah, yeah, dude, that Garmin kit's gonna be sick. The new SCD
Yes.
bikes are fucking sweet. I'm super
Yes.
excited with them. But yeah, this one I do like. So I started doing this stuff a lot lately with all the short form content, and we've touched on this before, Josh, where it's like the signature with like the masking and whatnot in After Effects, and it's a little touch that I think a lot of people could do when they do rider features, because there's not a whole lot of like footage of like the actual like bike and rider and kit. Like you get this shot here for 2 seconds, you get another 2 seconds of the rider, and then a spinning tire, and then it's boom in there. So 6 seconds total of
Yep.
like actual rider kit. So yeah, man, like there's like you can do some really cool stuff with B-roll and like highlighting who it is just with, stuff like this, like a little name card. It doesn't take that much
yeah.
time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well,
How do you feel? How do you feel from watching the Anaheim one edit, and how you feel compared to putting this out?
dude, if you would tell me that the same person that made Anaheim 1 made this, I wouldn't believe you. Across like 2 years of content creation, like this has been really fun to just not only like sit down with two guys that I enjoy hanging out with, but like look through all of the progression and see, what it was back then versus what it is now. And man, dude, it's wild, dude. Like just the level of quality and where I'm at now as an editor. I think 2 years. There's people that obviously are way higher quality of editors than I was when I first put out Anaheim 1. With their first pieces, but a lot of that is learning on my own and really finding my own kind of stylistic choice and not having a whole lot of outside feedback. I didn't have a ton of outside feedback until after Documoto, when I started kind of like asking for it and like really watching other people's stuff and critiquing my stuff based on theirs. So, yeah, no, I would say like it's been a really fun journey. I've had a blast creating content. Obviously, I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, it's crazy to see the journey, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was really neat to go back even further than, what I was used to, and actually see where you started. So that was interesting.
Yeah, and Dash got the whole run through. I guarantee you hadn't
Dude.
seen shit from like that far back.
No, never. Never. I think the earliest one was the military tribute one. I think that was the earliest one that I had seen. So this was a trip through history today.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, no, and like honestly, man, like it was really fucking cool to like look back and see this stuff. And I'm really excited to do more rewind episodes with a lot of these creators that we've had on or that we haven't had on. I think Joman will probably be our next creator that we have on to do another rewind episode as a testament to like what this show can actually do for editors. Because Josh and I have mentioned it a handful of times of like, dude, if you just if you take the feedback and you apply it, like you're going to continuously get it from us. And to see where he started to where he is like after he started submitting to the show and to where he is now, dude, it's wildly different.
Yeah, I think that if we can get him on, that's going to be a really fun episode.
Hell yeah. All right, folks. Well, I don't know, man. Like I don't have a whole lot of closing thoughts. This was really fun. Thank you guys. Thank you, Dash, for coming on tonight, dude. It was an absolute honor to have you on.
Yes, it was an honor to be selected to come on.
Just hang out with the boys.
Very much so.
Yeah,
hell yeah. Be subject to watching all of my videos. Yeah.
Tell me I'm good.
Yeah,
this was a very cool thing to do. I've never really done anything kind of like this. Like I've done a couple videos myself, but nothing like this where we're kind of just reviewing edits and stuff. Like I've watched your guys' reviews of edits before, but I've never done anything like this. So this was a very good experience, and I'm very thankful.
Awesome, man. Josh, any final thoughts from you, man?
No, it was I think this is the first time I really officially met Dash. So yeah, thanks for coming. It was a great time hanging out. And
yeah, man.
You know, it was really neat kind of going back in time, seeing where Dylan started and where he's headed. I will ask, are you working on any, you know, secret tricks or anything? Did you learn anything new that you're going to try in the next edit, or kind of keeping that under wraps maybe, Dylan?
For now, I want to, like, I don't know if I've been very vocal about this on the show, but, Jess and I, my fiance and I, are looking at selling our house, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to like actually sit down and start to do some new edit techniques.
Right.
Just because it's chaos right now at my house. But once we get into the new place, it's going to watch my seizure edit. Pax, I promise you, we're gonna get you in next week. We're gonna do a regular episode. We will. Or you can come on and make sure you can get into your house, and we'll do a PAX Rewind episode, and we'll do it. I promise you, we will watch it. You submitted it. I know it's over a week. You'll get my reaction. You just have to hold on, dude. I promise. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, yeah, it's just chaos right now, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to like sit down and actually do some creations. This edit in particular, I did at 4:30 in the morning before work. So, yeah, because like I'm trying to get like enough hype around season 15. Just like going into, you know, what that is all about, like that. This next line of gear is arguably the highest quality gear that I've ever created. Custom AO maps, custom stitching, new norms, like different, like wildly different color schemes. It's all like super high quality as far as the layout of the gear is and the textures and everything. So I'm really proud of it, and I wanted to spend the time to get some people involved with it. So everybody that was on these commercials, except for a handful, they all sent in replays to me, and I've been putting together these commercials to, you know, help promote the new release, but also, you know, give back to the people that support the brand. So, other than that, yeah, I'm working on getting that out the door. So, as far as edits are concerned, I haven't had a whole lot of time to actually sit down and try some new stuff, but you know, we're always improving. So once season 15 is out the door and I get all these commercials done, yeah, I'll probably do a little bit longer of a project, probably around that 3 to 4 minute mark.
Sweet. Yeah, I'd be excited to look out for that.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Weekly Review. Again, I am Dylan Carlson alongside Josh Hoffman. We are joined in studio today by the one, the only DASHPACK. Go check out his stuff on Mods Shop. Yeah, Dash, plug your stuff, man.
All right. So MXB Mods /DashPack323. That's where you'll find all my shit. TM coming soon. 2025 TM coming soon. It's gonna be the biggest drop you've ever seen. Swear to God. Y'all better be ready for that shit. And on that note, I'm out of here.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. If you want to submit an edit to the show next week, we'll have our regular episode coming back. We've been trying out a couple of new formats for the show for future episodes. Please just use the link in the description, head to my Discord, go to the edit submissions channel, and submit your stuff, and we will definitely review it. Any submission gets viewed on the show. Again, this is the weekly review at MX Bikes Edits podcast, where we deep dive into everything that goes into creating edits, watching your content, reviewing it, and submitting our subjective feedback. Take everything that we say with a grain of salt, and we will see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
See ya.